Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2024 Ineos Quartermaster pickup. Up front is a 3.0 liter turbocharged inline 6, and down below is an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this Ineos pickup because this is the pickup truck variant of the Ineos Grenadier that we drove last year. Ineos is a very interesting company, and we'll see what the future holds for them, but right now they offer two different vehicles. Well, they're not that different, but they are relatively different, and I'm excited to share this truck with you here today. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that 3-liter turbocharged inline 6 under the hood. Well, that is the first part of many that shares with the BMW. It's actually pulled directly from BMW. This is a BMW straight 6 turbo that Ineos purchases from the German manufacturer. Now, it has actually been detuned for less horsepower, but more torque that I'll put up on the screen. And when you drive it, it feels very trucky. It feels like it has this sort of low-end grunt. It kind of fumbles around the kitchen late at night, and that's what I like about it. It has that very trucky feel where when it's put in the BMW Z4 or the Toyota Supra, you get this more high-tuned, high-paced feeling. That's not necessarily what you want in a truck like this. You want that extra torque. Now, like I said, paired to it is an 8-speed automatic, again shared with BMW and pulled directly from BMW, and it works really well. I like it a lot. Last but not least, of course, it is 4-wheel drive. So how does it feel to drive the Ineos Quartermaster? Well, here's the thing. A lot of people complain about the steering. When you turn the vehicle, it does not automatically return to center like most modern cars. The steering of this truck feels like it's from 1961, which to me felt right at home, and that's why when I drove the original Ineos Grenadier, I didn't really notice anything because I drive a lot of classic cars, but journalists that only drive modern cars really hate the steering, so that's something to just prepare yourself for. Otherwise, visibility's pretty good. The ride quality is hard, but it is a pickup truck, so to be fully expected. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I just get my warning lights. That's all I get in front of me, this tiny little panel. Really reminds me of the Fisker Ocean. I hope Ineos doesn't suffer the same fate. On the steering wheel, on the left, we do have our cruise control options as well as voice commands. And off to the right, we have our volume and skip track, but we have our toot button that is a lighter version of the horn. Absolutely love this. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent, and moving on to the door, we have lock and unlock, power mirrors, and power windows. Moving up over my head, we have a lot of things to talk about. We have auxiliary switches for 10 amp as well as 25 amp and 500 amp. We have our differential locks. We have off-road mode, assistance, headlight levelers. All of this is very clearly labeled, and I love this. I love that Ineos does this. This feels very rugged. I feel like I should be out on safari, not in rainy, cold central Wisconsin here today. So love all this, and you get your own little sunroofs up above you. Each the driver and the passenger get one. Again, very safari, very off-road, very, very cool. Moving down into the center console, we do have our infotainment display. Now, this is actually where you'll find your tachometer, your speedometer, gear, fuel, and things like that. The idea behind this is that when you're out on the trail, you're looking forward. You're not really worrying about your speed. You're not really worrying about your tachometer as much. It's still kind of important if you're stuck, but that's all pushed off to the right. We also do have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and tons of really cool stuff in here, as well as a nice camera system for the backup camera. It's actually not great quality, but I guess it's just nice to have. Then we do have our elevation, temperature, and compass, 2 climate vents, and then way more buttons that are also all labeled. Front heated seats, climate controls, window demist, hazard, climate control, audio, start stop, and parking assist. Again, everything's so clearly labeled as if it were going into military service, but it tisn't. Down below, we do have the shifter. We have our 4-wheel drive high and low lock, Absolutely love that. And then we have a selector for that gauge cluster screen for options, menu, back, off-road, favorites, things like that. We do have cup holders. We'll do a big ring and bottle test. It fails. Wah, wah, wah. We get a center console with our winch remote found in there, and then we'll talk about the seats. The seats are Recaro seats. Absolutely love to see that. Very, very nice. And they're enjoyable. They're heated, and on a day like today, I'm definitely soaking up all of the heated seats I can. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, we're in the back of the Quartermaster. Not great. I do have USB-A and USB-C chargers. I have a wall outlet and climate vents. All look very military. I just drove a Hummer H1 not too long ago, and this really reminds me of that. No center console, however, these back seats are also done by Recaro. They're not very spacious. I can't even untangle my legs. There we go. Okay, there we go. Untangled my legs. It's not great. This is not where I'd want to be for a long amount of time. I fit okay. The Grenadier, that's going to have a lot better rear seat space. So if that's a priority, definitely do that. But obviously this is the truck, so let's go talk about truck things. All right, around the back in the rain, unfortunately, we do have the tailgate. Pops down like this. I love it. No frills, no power tailgate, nothing to get in the way of you and your stuff. It's a simple, simple truck. I know it might not be priced like a simple truck, but we do have the spare tire mount there. You could fit another one over there, and we do have a wall outlet. So it is absolutely awesome. It is pouring rain and I'm getting frigidly cold, but that is the back of the Grenadier Quartermaster pickup. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I, first of all, love this color. I love the way the truck looks. All of this is very, very rugged. It has the corrugated cut steel up on the front, hood fenders, and I really, really like this. It looks like an old Defender, and that was the reasoning, and that was the logic behind this. So the story goes, again, this might not be super factual, but the story goes that there was a rich billionaire who ran Ineos, which is a chemical company. They have like petroleum and a whole bunch of things, and he wanted to rebuild his old Land Rover. Land Rover basically more or less gave him the finger and told him to go do something else. So he took it upon himself to develop a completely new vehicle based off of what he liked. This is truly a billionaire's dream come to fruition. And so that's why it kind of cosplays as a military safari vehicle. It has all the interior labeling. It has all those hard edges. It looks just like a Land Rover because they just look cool. Although it has a modern drivetrain, modern features, and amenities. So if you're like, hey, that kind of looks like a Land Rover, yeah, that was kind of the point. With all of this being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the Ineos Grenadier Quartermaster? Well, I like this thing a lot. I really, really love these. Every time I see one out on the road, which is not frequently, but every time I see one out on the road, I absolutely adore it. I take a picture. I love it. They're fantastic to look at. And I love the fact that these exist. That's the biggest thing. I love that these exist. Because really, truly, this is just a car person's dream, and they had the means to make it a reality. A very, very expensive reality that might not be paying off at the moment, but it is the reality nevertheless. And so I think, honestly, going forward, this might be one of those vehicles that we look at in retrospect and say, hey, it was great. The idea was there. The idea was solid, and everyone loved it. But the market just didn't really reply. Ineos is not selling in very big numbers. Now, part of that is due to the price. These are expensive, expensive vehicles. And for something that doesn't have that many creature comforts at that price tag, I understand that it's a hard argument to make. But the spirit behind this vehicle feels so freeing. It feels so renegade just because it really truly is. This was born out of just an idea. This is a Lamborghini story where Enzo Ferrari shot down Ferruccio Lamborghini's ideas. And so he went off out of spite and built one of the most prestigious automobile companies in the world. That's what this feels like to me. And this thing has serious off-road chops. If you want to get it done, you can get it done here in the Ineos Grenadier Quartermaster. This thing is built for off-roading, it's built for adventuring, and it really truly lives out that adventurous lifestyle that it's promoting to you. It's not saying, oh, I'm adventurous, but really all it's going to see is a Starbucks drive-thru. No, this wants you to get out there. That functional snorkel, those safari glass tops, the front and rear differential lockers, off-road mode, the winch. It wants you to get out there. It wants you to get it dirty, and it wants you to punish it in hopes of discovering a good time. That's how it feels to drive this. Will the sales back that theory up? I don't know. But gosh darn it, do I hope that they do. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Ineos for bringing this vehicle to the Mama Spring Rally, the Midwestern Automotive Media Association Spring Rally. That is where I'm driving it here today. It is absolutely amazing. Huge thank you to G. Schmidt for facilitating the cleaning of this vehicle, and of course the Midwestern Automotive Media Association for putting on one heck of an event. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.